Hey guys, we got a special video for you today. Pace Morby here. Welcome to the YouTube channel, or if you're watching on Instagram Reels, welcome to Instagram Reels. We've got a special guest here that we have some really cool things to talk to you guys about. Possibilities of creative finance right now are insane. It is honestly the most important strategy that you can learn in the next 5 to 7 years, especially as interest rates are now hitting 6%. And we believe those interest rates are now going to go upwards of 8%. I've got a guest with me today in my backyard in a location we've never filmed in, so hopefully you guys like it. So who do we have with us today?
My name is Miguel. Instagram is MiguelAnt00.
Miguel Ant00, guys, on Instagram. Look him up right now, DM him. There's a handful of things you're gonna learn from him today. You live where?
I live in Casa Grande, Arizona right now.
Casa Grande?
Yeah, it's a very small place.
Did you grow up in Casa Grande?
I actually grew up in like Arizona City, Eloy area.
Oh my, even worse.
Yeah, man, it's
sorry for anybody that lives in Eloy. I probably don't have one person.
It's small, but it's, people there are great. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? People like me. So.
Here's the challenge with Eloy and these smaller towns and why I give people a hard time. If you want to be worth 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, it ain't happening in Casa Grande.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have to break out and you have to get where a lot more action is happening. Right. And so you said earlier when we were talking that you were planning on moving.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to live in the Valley. I think everybody from that area would love to like branch out here and come out here, you know what I mean? Just driving by, you see different houses and things like that that are just inspiring to see for people like me.
Right, and we have Walmarts and Targets out here. You guys don't have those.
No, we don't got none of that, man. We gotta go to Casa Grande for that. So.
Yeah, you have to go to Casa Grande. So tell me, you'd send me a DM. Again, Miguel Ant00 on Instagram.
Yes,
you send me a DM and you go, yo, Pace, I actually sold my house subject to one of your students.
Yeah.
Tell me about that story.
So it's actually a wholesale, but either way, I consider it creative financing. But I was in a bit of a bind and, I ended up reaching out to somebody. Well, actually I was doing a junk removal business and I put everything into my business. I ended up meeting somebody that was into Subto program, your program. And,
Who was it?
I think his name's Andrew Lee Barron, his name was. He actually has a buddy named Jacob Amescua who he taught, your ways. So I met this kid. He had just bought a trailer out in Casa Grande and I'm doing a job for him. I just kept in touch with him. I asked him, hey man, how did you get this property? You're young. He's like 30 years old. My mom always told me to get into real estate. So, I wanted to pick his brain a little bit. I kept in contact with him and then I had like some stuff going on, some family stuff going on. Obviously my house is in pre-foreclosure at this time, so I'm like stressed out to the max.
So are you living with your family in this situation or by yourself?
At the time I was by myself.
Okay, got it.
My family was living there with me. I had 2 kids. They were living there. So I was in that pre-foreclosure stage for a while because COVID hit, everything, it was pretty bad. It was going downhill fast. I kept in touch with the guy for a while because he had hit me up later on and was like, hey, if you know anybody selling houses, I can give you like $10,000 just to,
Genius.
He's trying to wholesale,
Well, here's what I like about that. So we go to like meetups, we do all this stuff, and there's always somebody in the audience that's like, well, what do I do? How do I get my first deal?
Right.
And somebody on stage will typically say, reach out to people you know. Tell them you'll pay them a referral fee. Do this, do that. And people in the audience, they go, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna do that. That doesn't work. And here we are, that's what he did.
Exactly what he did, and it worked because he gave me a list. He had me just trying to wholesale at first. So I started calling, man. Like I seen some of the videos on TikTok and I'm like, what I got to lose? So I started calling around and I couldn't get any answers. It never dawned on me because I wasn't educated at the time that I could wholesale my own house.
Right.
So I ended up wholesaling to him. He saved me from a pre-foreclosure and I also negotiated a way to keep my sister in the house because she needed a place to stay at the time. She has 2 children that are autistic and she had nowhere to go. So now my sister's renting the house from this guy.
Wow, great. That's awesome.
Cash in my pocket on top of that. So
amazing.
It's a crazy story, man.
That's a good situation. So you were able to negotiate with the buyer that your sister and her kids could stay in the property even after you sold the house.
Yes.
I love that. So your sister was probably ecstatic about it.
She is, but her rent's gonna go up, so she's not really too ecstatic. But I'm telling her like, hey, look what happened. Like,
I mean, everybody's rent's going up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm trying to tell her.
Rents have never gone down. That's the thing is like, you have to plan on them going up.
Right.
It's tough though, like your sister being in the situation she's in with 2 special needs kids. It's hard for somebody in that situation to go out and go, I'm gonna go make a ton of money because she's got people she's got to take care of, right? And she only has 24 hours in a day. So for you, now that you realize like, oh damn, I can really do this, what are you guys trying to accomplish? What are you trying to do?
Trying to take over, man.
Yeah.
Trying to be the next Pace Morby.
Oh damn, I'm trying to be the next Pace Morby.
Real estate, my mom always told me like, get into real estate, and I've shown her pictures. I came to your networking party and she's like, be careful. I'm like,
oh yeah, they're scam artists.
Yeah, Yeah.
Which party were you at? The one at my house?
Yeah, the one here.
The one with 300 people here? That was dope.
It was great. Yeah, it was good to see.
Did we scam you?
No, I haven't been scammed yet, man.
You just wait for it. It's coming.
No, but yeah, it's a crazy experience, man. It's crazy.
That's good. Yeah, it's tough, you know, when you've got family members that obviously care a lot about you, but they've gone their whole life not taking a chance on themselves.
Right.
And anytime that they've trusted people, typically they've gotten bit, right? Yeah. And the reason being is because they typically are trusting family and friends who really are not in a position to really help them. So what I see is I go, man, why are you so fearful? What are you so afraid of? And they start telling me, everybody I've ever trusted has taken advantage of me. I go, great. Tell me 4 stories where that's happened. And it's always a family member or a friend. And I'm like, okay, so you want to go learn something new from somebody that has proven that they have done it successfully. This is a different world we're talking about. This is not family and friends you're trusting. You know what I'm saying? So with you, I know you and your dad have joined Subto now. Right. What are you and your dad currently working on? Like, what's your game plan?
My dad actually lives in San Diego. It's a little bit harder for us to like communicate, but we do call each other very often. I know my niche for sure is pre-foreclosure because I can relate to the people and I can say, hey, I know what you're going through. It's scary, but I can help you.
An investor like me actually saved me from foreclosure, right. And now I'm in this world trying to help sellers like you.
Like I was telling your guy last time I was at the party, I said it's not about the money to me personally, because you know, just to be able to help people better their situation and put them in a position like I am right now, like that means more than anything. Like that's like my biggest goal. As for me and my dad, I think we're gonna start looking into more properties out here in Arizona. He's supposed to move back, so we want to get back out here and just start hitting it on the nail on the head.
Obviously, creative finance and that whole entire world, this whole world of like real estate, obviously saved you guys from foreclosure, right? Now you told me earlier that you have somebody that you're talking to in North Carolina, right? What's the story there?
It's crazy. I was actually working with 2 guys from the AZ Subto group. I forgot his name, but there's 2 guys that gave me a list.
Eddie and Tyler?
No, his last name is Gwyn.
Yeah, Win. He used to work on my team.
Yeah, because he gave me your address for the networking party.
The first 2 Subto deals he ever did, he did it for me, knocking doors.
Really?
Yeah. We should shout him out. He's a sweetheart.
Hold on. Ty.
Yeah, Ty.
Ty and Brett. Yeah. Ty and Brett. I don't know Brett's last name, but they reached out to me very early when I got into Subto, and they gave me a list. They gave me some different programs. I actually called the wrong list. The first number I called was a guy in North Carolina that was like, yeah, I'm ready to sell. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're like still in talk. This is probably about a month ago, but I've been keeping up with this guy every day. He wants too much for his house right now. Hopefully he don't see this because you know it's still.
He won't see it.
We're trying to get him to do an innovation deal because that's the only thing that makes sense. But he wants too much money. So we're in talks.
But he's in foreclosure.
No, he's not in foreclosure. He just wants to sell his home. It's pretty beat up, and his tenants just moved out. The area's kind of tricky. I guess it's like a property within a property, and you have to drive onto one property to get to the other property.
Yeah.
So it's
he's
like,
landlocked.
Right.
Here's my advice for you. I listened to you, and I'm like, you know what's funny about Ty? So he tried to get his first deal for 2 years. He spent a lot of money, I think close to $200,000 in education. No exaggeration. He went to seminars, he went to every meetup event you could imagine. Him and his brother did that for 2 years. Never got a deal. He comes and works with me. In less than 30 days, he gets his first deal. And I go, Ty, all you need to do is go and focus on foreclosures. That's it. Just focus on foreclosure. So I'm going to tell you something that's really interesting. So Ty goes out, he starts knocking doors, and in 19 hours, he got his first deal. Not like start to 19 hours. It was like 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, whatever. So it was about over the course of 10 days, he got his first deal. He made like 20 grand on the deal. It was a foreclosure. I bought it subject to. Okay, that was Ty's first deal. So here's what's interesting. Here's a lesson. So Ty's like, great, I got my first deal. Now I don't have to door knock. So he takes his 20 grand, he starts doing other things, and he starts chasing shiny object syndrome. And then like 3 or 4 months later, I'm like, Ty, where's your second deal, man? He's like, I don't know. I'm trying this, that, and I go, bro, it worked for you before. Why did you stop doing it?
Switch it up, man.
So he switched it up, and I go, dude, just go back to knocking doors. So he goes back to knocking doors. 19 hours later, gets another deal.
No way.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy.
Subject to deal. We end up buying it. So now what's funny is fast forward a year later, Ty's not doing what he got his first deals for. Like, bro, I'm telling you, it's very simple. If you're trying to do Subto deals or creative finance deals, focus on foreclosures, because people in foreclosure, like the 4 deals I'm buying today are all foreclosure. So if you're calling anybody else besides people in foreclosure, you're wasting your time. Now, if you're trying to do cash deals and that's all you're doing, like the thing that people screw up on subject to is they forget, because I buy and I keep most of my subject twos. I don't wholesale any more of them. I used to, but I don't anymore. I keep them.
You want to keep them under your portfolio?
Yeah, I call it stash flow.
And for the people, real quick, how many properties do you own right now?
Hundreds.
This is inspiring.
Hundreds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hundreds of doors. We have hundreds of tenants.
I need to show my mom this.
Oh, it's, dude, the thing is, there's 4 people who are saving from foreclosure today. They're all texting me and saying, you saved my life, you saved my situation. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to move on. I would have lost my house. The sheriff would have been knocking on my door and saying, get the F out of the house. All that stuff, right?
True, man.
So you focus on the people that need you the most. They typically have the most pain. Like, you remember what you felt like when you were going through foreclosure.
Terrifying.
Sucks.
It's terrifying. You never know when that knock's gonna come or anything, you know?
As a seller who's in foreclosure, you didn't intentionally do anything wrong. You're just like, I'm out here trying to hustle for my kids.
Right.
I'm trying to build my business. COVID hits.
Right.
You have no control over that. The way the government works is that you go into foreclosure when you don't make your payment. You're like, dude, I'm trying to catch up. So you feel like after a while, you feel like you're in quicksand.
Yeah. That's exactly what it felt like.
You're like, how do I get out of this? And it's not until a real estate investor who has creative ideas and creative strategies that comes to you and goes, I can stop the foreclosure, I can keep your credit from being completely obliterated, and I can put cash in your pocket.
That's the best part, man. It's like I didn't have that on my credit.
Right.
Like I'm very familiar with pre-foreclosure because my mom, she went through pre-foreclosure when I was a kid.
And she lost the house.
Yeah, she lost the house out in Arizona City. So
here we are.
Yeah.
You broke the chain, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's like PTSD in a sense, you know what I mean? I didn't want to go through that again. It's crazy, it's cool, and it's an opportunity now, man. It's crazy.
That's the thing that people also don't realize is, like, if a seller's going through foreclosure, I get probably 3 to 5% of them that realize, wow, this is really creative and this is really amazing what you're doing here. How do I do this? And you're a businessman, right? So you're thinking, you know, you've got your trailer business, you got your junk removal business, all that kind of stuff. So you're already thinking business-wise. Right. So when this happens to you, somebody comes in, stops the foreclosure, gets cash in your pocket, you're like, wait.
I thought it was a scam, honestly, because I was at the point where I had no other choice. I was like, yo, if I get this check or whatever, then cool. I said, but I'm not expecting it, basically, is what happened.
Really?
I had so much going on. At the time, like, my cousin had just got in a motorcycle accident, so I had to go up to California. I had, like, no money. I was working, but I have no money, saved nothing. So I'm like, man, so Jacob was in the process of, like, getting everything done. He got it done quick, and I said, Jacob, I need this money, bro. And the day of my cousin getting in a motorcycle accident, no, day after, he's like, your check's ready. So I left my job. I literally got up and left, and I was like, I gotta go. Went to the mortgage company, picked up my check, man. I've never seen that much money on a check, and I grabbed it. And
you went from thinking this is a scam,
yes,
not expecting the money, to then seeing the biggest check you've ever seen.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Bro.
That was crazy.
When did it dawn on you, like, you needed to focus on real estate investing as well? Was it like,
I seen that check.
Really? You're like, damn.
Yeah, when I seen that check, I was like, wow. And then I went home and put it in the bank. Since then, you know, here I am. I'm just like, real estate is my first priority now. You know what I mean? I want to quit my 9 to 5 right now and just focus on real estate because I know I can make way more money than I'm making at my 9 to 5. But it might take a little bit longer, but I know I can get there.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing is, like, most people will go from age 20, whatever, until 65. So 40 years or so working at a job to ultimately retire with very little pension or whatever. In real estate, you could take 2 to maybe 5 years and never have to work again in your life, but have an income that is secure the rest of your life, right? You really don't need that many houses. I mean, wholesaling's great. Like, don't get me wrong, we wholesale all the time, but wholesale is not what pays for my lifestyle.
Yeah.
What pays for my lifestyle is cash flow and the houses that we own in the portfolio.
Which is why you say you're not wholesaling your houses no more. You know what I mean? You're having that passive income.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wholesale subject to deals anymore. We keep those, but we wholesale cash deals all the time. And so the wholesale is great. The fix and flips are great, but man, I call it the stash flow, right? Stash flow is like the properties I've stashed into my portfolio that are flowing, all my stash flow, like the houses I own. This is the other thing that's interesting. Last year in 2021, I gained between $6 to $10 million in net worth just by my properties going up in value.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that's interesting is, like, an NBA player making $10 million a year.
Yeah, just the equity alone, right? You're saying
just the equity.
Appreciating, so
just the equity, not the cash flow, not the tax benefits, none of that. Literally just the appreciation of those assets. That's it.
And you're not doing that. It's just your money's working for you.
Think about it this way, right? Like, you see all these orange trees out here, right?
Right.
When I take a shower, that's the view I have, is like this whole orange grove. And I think about what happens with a wholesaler is that a wholesaler will take your house, right? They bought it, they own it as a rental, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So what most wholesalers do is they go to the seller and they go, hey, you have a really nice orange tree here. Why don't we chop this down? I'll give you the fruit and I'll take the wood, right? And now you got this thing that's not producing anything for anybody anymore. Right. What I do is I go to a seller and I go, hey, how do I make payments on that orange tree? And I'll keep the orange tree intact so it keeps producing fruit for the rest of my life. Very big difference. Yeah. And so the wholesaler has wood that's valuable, but they're gonna go, basically they're gonna burn that money.
Right.
You have a one time. How many times can you burn wood? One time. So when you get that wholesale check, how many times did you get that wholesale check? One time.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I look at it like chopping down an orange tree, taking the wood for the cash investor and giving the oranges to the seller and saying, hey, here's your benefit, here's my benefit. Guess what? Neither one of us own the tree anymore. But what I do is now I look back at those trees and I'm like, you know what? Look at all this, like producing fruit. And I look at this as all the houses that I own. This is why I love the orange groves, is it just tells me all about reproduce, reproduce, reproduce. So what you got to get, even as a young guy, like you got to make a goal for yourself. Like in the next 6 months or less, you and your dad should have a goal. How do we have one Airbnb? How do we own one Airbnb that just cuts us a check every single month?
That's what we were actually looking into when we first started. We were looking up here. We just don't know the area too well. Like we're from Casa Grande, so we don't know the area.
All you do is focus on foreclosures. You buy those sub 2, wholesale the sub 2s to me. I'll give you fat checks for the wholesale, and then take those checks and go and put those into maybe buying your own sub 2 or your own seller finance deal. So here's the 4 deals I'm buying today. I got a duplex in Casa Grande.
No.
Yep.
Where at? What's the street?
I don't know. I didn't even have to call the seller. Somebody else is wholesaling it to me.
Oh, yeah.
So they're chopping down the tree.
Are they in sub 2?
Yeah, they're in sub 2.
I wonder who it was.
A girl named Sandra, who lives in California.
How did she find it? I've been looking.
She's just looking at foreclosures.
Wow.
She's just looking at foreclosures.
The lists I have sometimes, man, it's be hard to get through. I need to invest in some better programs and stuff to
you just need to get a good foreclosure list, and that's it, and then refresh it every month. So I got a duplex in Casa Grande. I got a single family home in Maricopa. I've got a property in Boise, Idaho that I'm getting under contract today as well. And then I got a deal in Dalton, Georgia for like $2 million subject to no money out of pocket.
How much?
$2 million.
Crazy.
Again, foreclosure, foreclosure, foreclosure. If you and your dad are doing anything but focusing on foreclosures, especially with your story, like bro,
that's what I'm saying, man.
Think about you talking to a seller and going, look, my mom was foreclosed on when I was young, and I, because of COVID and all these other things, found myself in foreclosure too. I had PTSD over this whole experience when I was younger. Somebody, an investor like me, just like me, I'm calling you right now, an investor like me called me, told me they could buy my house. They stopped the foreclosure, put a big check in my pocket, and I decided, man, this was an invitation for me to step into an opportunity to go out and help other people in foreclosure, and that's why I'm calling you. You would dominate that market.
I got to get my office set up, and I need to...
Bro, you need to get in your car and just call on your phone.
That too. I need to start door knocking. Well, I've done it once, but he was in Casa Grande.
Go with Ty. Ty's a
here,
great door knocker.
Yeah.
Ty is phenomenal at door knocking.
Yeah, I just got to get settled in, and then we'll start doing that.
Amazing. So anybody that's new to real estate, are they welcome to reach out to you and go, yo, I want to squat up with you. I want to see what you're doing to call sellers.
For sure. My Instagram, like you said, is Miguel@00. Add me on there. You know, if anyone has any deals or anything like that, and if I can't handle them, I'll pass them on to whoever. You know, anybody in sub 2, or if it's a good deal for you.
Come on, bro. You know I'm a buyer.
We got a shark over here, so.
Yeah.
I'd be trying to send you some deals. Well, they're not deals, but, you know, just in case in the future I wanted to grab your number. Just,
of course.
You know what I mean? Like I see you say, you know, send me the deal, I'll buy it, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not wholesaling them, I'm just keeping them. So, you know I'm a solid buyer. I'm not going to double close. I'm not going to do any of that kind of stuff. So, bro, this was fun. I got to get on the TV set, but I appreciate you tremendously.